Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama, Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya. Jayam Vishupad Paramams Parivajagacharya Stotra Shridesh Shrimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Bibli Founder Acharya Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishupad Paramams Parivajagacharya Stotra Shridesh Shrimad Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nantakoti Vaishnavandi ki jai. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vrindadevi Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai. Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Today, disappearance day of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So, reading from Srila Prabhupada on Raghunath Das Goswami. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, was the son of a very rich man. Although he had no interest in enjoying material happiness, when he was entrusted with doing something in managing the state, he did it perfectly. Srila Gaurasundara advised him, from within, keep yourself and your mind completely aloof, but externally execute the material duties just as they need to be done. This transcendental position can be achieved by devotees only, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. While others, such as yogis, try to control their senses by force, devotees, even though possessing full sensory powers, do not use them because they engage in higher transcendental activities. Srimad Bhagavatam 4:12-14 purport. You eat, but try to minimize. Because in the beginning, because we are accustomed to eat voraciously, so don't try to eat less artificially. You eat, but try to minimize. Therefore, there are prescription of fasting, at least 2 compulsory fastings in a month. And there are other fasting days. The more you can reduce your sleep and eating, you keep good health, especially for spiritual purposes, but not artificially. Not artificially. But when you advance, naturally you will not feel just like Raghunath Das Goswami. There are examples. Raghunath Das Goswami was very rich man's son and he left home. So he joined Lord Chaitanya. So his father, he was the only son, very beloved son. Very nice wife, left everything. And left means stealthy without saying anything. Somehow or other, he left home and the father could understand he has gone to Lord Chaitanya at Puri. So he sent 4 servants because he was very rich man. And 400 rupees, 500 years ago, 400 rupees means 20 times at the present value. Lecture on Bhagavad Gita 6:16-24, Los Angeles, February 17, 1969. Raghunath Das, very strict in the matter of following the regulative principles. Sankhya Purvakanama Gana Natibhi Kala Vasani Krito Nidrahara Viharakadi Vijito Chatyanta Dinau Chayo Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghu Yugo Shri Jiva Gopala Ko Shad Goswami Ashtaka 6th verse. Raghunath Das Goswami, especially, he was very strict in the matter of following the regulative principles. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was living in Radha Kund. He was very rich man's son and practiced very rigidly Vairagya. Lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 562 is Vrindavan, November 24, 1936. Tapasya of Raghunath Das Goswami. Tapasya means practically not eating. That is tapasya, not eating. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was a very rich man's son. So he showed us the example, what is tapasya? He gradually reduced his eating. Very alternate days, a little butter. Every alternate days, a little butter. That's all. And still he was taking 3 times bath and 100 times Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibhi. He was offering obeisance flat 100 times and taking bath 3 times. Raghunath Das Goswami, those who have gone to Radha Kund, you have seen the extreme tapasya. He was very rich man's son. In those days, his father's income was 12 lakhs of rupees. He left his happy home and joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and exemplified tapasya. He showed. Next. Srila Prabhupada memories. Raghunath Das Goswami was offering obeisances around the whole Radha Kund. So many times I shall fall down. So many times I shall fall down. He was falling down Dandavat. From the point where your head is touching, you have a line. Stand there and again fall down. Again stand and again fall down. Just see how much good exercise it is. This is called tapasya, austerity. We should not take it very easily that we are going back to Godhead. Of course, there are so many concessions, but at the same time, we should be very much aware of the responsibility that we have decided to go back to Godhead after leaving this body. So we have to perform some austerities. The austerity in our Gaudiya Sampradaya is very simple, following the 4 principles, restrictions, avoiding the offenses, and chanting regularly on beats, and hearing, chanting and hearing, both. Not only chanting, we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, we should engage 24 hours. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring the mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the following in their footsteps from a lecture in London. Srila Prabhupada comments, in every line he is thinking of Rupa Raghunatha, the previous acharyas. So let me surrender to the Goswamis and they will help me to write. You cannot write, that is not possible. So this is Vaishnava's policy. Jumping into Radha Kund. But they should understand what is Radha Kund and how to deal with Radha Kund. Raghunath Das Goswami showed how to live in Radha Kund. Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibhi Kala Vasani Krito. He was circumambulating Radha Kund, falling down, making a mark. That is Radha Kund Vasi. Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibhi. Not only counted holy names, but offering obeisances so many 100 times. That is Radha Kund. So much Vairagya he showed. He can take bath in the Radha Kund. First of all, do this like Raghunath Das Goswami. In other words, first one should understand Bhagavad Gita. Yashomati Nandana said, then gradually the first canto of Bhagavatam, then ultimately Chaitanya Charitamrita. Without that, simply taking Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada tipped his head. Yes, Bhagavad Gita is the entrance. Then Bhagavata is graduate, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is the step-by-step transcendental diary. Pranam mantra of Guru Raghunath Das Goswami. Kripa gunair yaha kugrand kupad udritya bhangya Raghunath Dasam nyasya sarupe vidadhe antarangam Shri Krishna Chaitanyam amam prapadye. Translation. With the ropes of his causeless mercy, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed a trick to deliver Raghunath Das Goswami from the blind well of contemptible family life. He made Raghunath Das Goswami one of his personal associates, placing him under the charge of Swarup Damodar Goswami. I offer my obeisance unto him. Room conversation. Then 12th October is Raghunath Das Goswami. There is no fasting, but we should have discussion of Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami happened to be the only boy of his father and his uncle. He was a very rich man's son, but he left home for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His life should be discussed as follows. That from the beginning he was very much detached to worldly life. So his father and mother saw that this boy is very much detached. He should be immediately married with a beautiful wife. So that was done. He was given a very nice house and beautiful wife, but still he was very much detached. So when he was a householder, he met Nityananda at Panihati and he prayed Lord Chaitanya to take him with him. At that time Chaitanya was sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya instructed him that don't be in a hurry. Gradually Krishna will give you a chance to be aloof from these worldly affairs. He was very intelligent even though he was detached from worldly affairs, but from his activities it appears that he was very intelligent also in worldly affairs. While somehow or other, for political reasons, his father and uncle were to be arrested by the minister of the region, Muslim government, and his father and uncle hid themselves to avoid the arrest. Then the agent of the Nawab, he arrested Raghunath Das Goswami. So tell, where is your father and uncle? Otherwise you shall be tortured. So he did not answer anything. But after some time, when he was in arrest, he very politely presented his case to the minister. My dear sir, I know my uncle, father and yourself. You are very intimate friends and treat each other as brothers. So sometimes there is some quarrel between brothers, that I can understand. But so far I am concerned, I am equally affectionate to my father, uncle, as well as to yourself. I am also your son. In this this way, when he very politely presented, the minister became very much affected and he began to cry. Yes, this boy is very nice. So he immediately released him and told him that, yes, we are brothers. Now if you settle up our disagreement, that will be very nice. So he was released and he made a settlement between the minister and his father and uncle. So in that settlement, he showed his worldly intelligence very nicely. He was not a less politician. His management was so nice. So that means a Vaishnava is not less intelligent. He can manage anything. But that does not mean that he is attached to anything. This example we get from Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Even in his household life, he managed things very intelligently, but later on he left home. He was guarded by the watchman of his father and uncle, but he somehow or other got out of their watch and guard and directly went to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw him coming to his shelter, he very much welcomed him and he said, Raghunath, you have been saved by Krishna from the hole of stool. Your father and uncle happened to be friend of my grandfather. Lord Chaitanya's grandfather was Nilambar Chakravarti, and he was a very well-known learned Brahmana. So all the big men were known to him. So this father and uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami used to call him as elder brother. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took this opportunity that your father and uncle is in brotherly relation with my grandfather. Therefore, your father and uncle happens to be my grandfather. Generally, the grandfather and the grandson, they treat themselves jokingly. So I can joke with your father and uncle. You do not be sorry. Raghunath Das Goswami did not reply anything. He was very submissive. So in that connection, he said that your father and uncle is worms of the stool. He was very much fond of material enjoyment, and Krishna has saved you from that hole of stool. So in this way, he criticized his father and uncle. Raghunath Das Goswami did not reply. Then he entrusted him to his secretary Swarup Damodar for his teaching, and in this way, Raghunath Das Goswami was known as Swarupa's Raghunatha. So his father became very sorry that the boy has left home and he has gone to Chaitanya. They are mendicants, very hard life. How this boy will live? So immediately he sent some servants and 400 rupees. 400 rupees in those days was 100 times valuable than at the present moment. So he was sending 400 rupees regularly per month, and Raghunath Das Goswami was accepting them, but he was spending the money by prasad distribution to the saintly persons of Jagannath Puri. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also invited, and he also used to go. But after some time, he stopped that invitation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired, so why Raghunath does not nowadays invite us? What is the matter? So Swarup Damodar informed him that he is no more accepting the rupees sent by his father. Oh, he has left it. Yes, sir. Very nice. Then how is he living? Now he stands on the staircase of Jagannath temple at night. And when the pujaris go away, they give some food stuff and he eats that. Oh, that's nice. So one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see how Raghunath, this means Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had good attention on Raghunath's activities, although he was entrusted to his secretary for teaching. So one day he went to that staircase. He did not find Raghunath Das there. So he inquired, I did not find Raghunath Das there. So his secretary informed. So he has left that also practice. Why then? How is he eating? No, he does not go anywhere. Ask anybody. But he stands on the outside of the kitchen of Jagannath, and whatever rice is thrown from the outlet of that kitchen, while the kitchen is washed, he collects some rice and eats those rice. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very much glad to hear that Raghunath Das Goswami is practicing so much renunciation. So all of a sudden, one day he went into his room. Raghunath, I did not see you for so many days. Then he found out in a pot those collected rice were kept, and immediately he took it. Oh, you have got very nice rice here. And he began to eat. Raghunath Das Goswami immediately caught his hand. Sir, it is not fit for your eating. Oh, I am eating so nice. You say it is not fit for me. That means Lord Chaitanya encouraged him that don't be discouraged that this is bad or this is not fit. I can eat. Anyone can eat. In this way, Raghunath Das Goswami was elevated to a very exalted position amongst the Goswamis. He is known as Das Goswami because he belonged to the Kayastha family, and other Goswamis, they belong to Brahmana families. Therefore, in order to keep his position as subordinate to the Brahmanas, he was known as Das Goswami. But it does not make any difference whether a Brahmana is a Goswami or a non-Brahmana is a Goswami. He is equally respected. This Raghunath Das Goswami later on, after Lord Chaitanya's disappearance, he went to Vrindavan to associate with the other Goswamis, and he remained mostly at Radhakund, and he passed his days at Radhakund. His tomb is still there in Radha Kund, and he has got established a temple, that is Raghunath Das Goswami's temple. All the Goswamis established some temple separately. That temple is also there. Some of the instructions that such exalted personalities used to keep regular routine vow. Another thing that is also very difficult. At Radhakund, Raghunath Das Goswami did not eat every day. He would eat every alternate day, or maybe after 2 days, he would take a little butter, say about 10 grains or 20 grains, and that was his food stuff. And the whole day and night, he would engage himself in chanting and writing books. He did not write many books, but some of his prayers are very famous. Some prayers, mostly he was engaged in chanting and offering obeisances, circumambulating. Raghunath Das Goswami's life is so glorious. This should be discussed on that day. Srila Prabhupada memories. Nidrahara Viharakadi Vijito, Dasa Goswami, Sankhya Purvaka, Nama Gana Natibhi, Kalavasani Krito, Nidrahara Viharakadi Vijito, Chatyanta Dino Chayo, Radha Krishna Gunas Prater Madhuryamandena Sammohito, Vande Rupa Sanatano, Raghu Yugoshi Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who were engaged in chanting the holy names of Lord and bowing down a scheduled measurement. In this way, they utilized their valuable lives, and in executing these devotional activities, they conquered over eating and sleeping and were always meek and humble, enchanted by remembering the transcendental qualities of the Lord. We are followers of the Goswamis. Their whole time, 24 hours, was used in Krishna consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai, Shri Nitai Gurung jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Really fixed up on big beads. So we have reduced that to 16. Haridas Thakur was chanting 3 times 64 or 192 rounds, and we are giving you only 16. We don't ask you to imitate Haridas Thakur. Hayagriva Das. And that is the main point of Chaitanya's philosophy. This is called worship in separation. The devotee thinks, Krishna, you are so wonderful, and I am such a fool and rascal that I cannot see you. I have no qualification to see you. In this way, you should feel the separation of Krishna, and these feelings will enrich us in Krishna consciousness. It's not, Krishna, I have seen you, finished. No, perpetually think of yourself as unfit to see Krishna. That will enrich you. Swamiji nods thoughtfully and looks at each of us. We do not speak, nor do our eyes leave him. Yes, he continues, when Krishna left Vrindavan for his father's place, Radharani was feeling in that way, always mad after Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed these feelings of Radharani, and we should understand that this is the best way of worshipping Krishna and becoming Krishna conscious. He stops again, waits, thinking, then goes on. You know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu threw himself in the sea, crying, Krishna, are you here? Krishna, are you there? And Lord Chaitanya's direct disciples, the Goswamis, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, also worshipped Krishna in that feeling of separation. There is one nice verse about them. He begins to chant ecstatically, his voice rich and full. He Raje Vrajadevike Chalarete, He Nanda Suno Kuta, Shri Govardhana, Kalpapada Putale, Kalindi Vanye Kutas, Koshanta Viti Sarvato Vrajapure, Kheder Mahavibhalo, Vande Rupa Sanatano, Raghu Yugo, Shri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who were chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, O Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you now? Are you on Govardhan Hill or under the trees on the Yamuna banks? Where are you? These were their moods in Krishna consciousness. He pauses closes his eyes and speaks again. Later on, when the Goswamis were very mature in devotional service, they were daily going about Vrindavan, just like madmen crying, Krishna, where are you? Where you are. After the Swamiji says no more, but sits cross-legged on the dais, hands folded, eyes closed, in sudden unexpected rapt meditation, as though he has been struck by a bolt from the blue. As we sit watching him, we all suddenly feel an electric, vibrant stillness settling over the temple. This is something very unusual. We all sense, yet dare not speak, dare not look at one another, dare not take our eyes from him. Perceivable spiritual phenomena. We can actually see him withdraw deep within himself and leave the body, the temple, the city, the world. Far behind, so deep is his communion. We bathe in this intense silence for only 3 or 4 minutes, but as in earthquakes, those minutes seem eternal for us all. But unlike earthquakes, there is no tumult, just an awesome stillness prolonging those minutes more than tumult ever could. We see his consciousness return to his body. He clears his throat, slowly opens his eyes, and reaches for the symbols beside him. Let us have kirtan, he says quietly and begins chanting. Govinda Jaya Jaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 2, Chapter number 3, Pure Devotional Service, Text number 23. जीवन शवः भागवतंग्रिरेणुम। जीवन शवो भागवतंग्रिरेणुम। न जातु मर्त्यः अभिलभेत यः तु न जातु मर्त्यो अभिलभेत यस्तु। श्री विष्णुपद्या मनुजः तुलस्याः। श्री विष्णुपद्या मनुजस्तुलस्या। श्वसन शवो यः तु न वेद गंधम। श्वसन शवो यस्तु न वेद गंधम। जीवच्छवो भागवतांग्रिरेणुम। न जातु मर्त्योऽभिलभेत यस्तु। श्री विष्णुपद्या मनुजस्तुलस्या। श्वसन शवो यस्तु न वेद गंधम। जीवन शवो भागवतांग्रिरेणुम। न जातु मर्त्योऽभिलभेत यस्तु। श्री विष्णुपद्या मनुजस्तुलस्या। श्वसन शवो यस्तु न वेद गंधम।
न जातु मर्त्यो बिलबेत यस्तु।
स्वसंचवो यस्तु न वेदगन्धम्। जीवं च वो भगवताङ्घ्रिरेणुं। न जातु मृत्युः मर्त्यो बलिभेदयस्तु श्रीविष्णुपद्यामनुजस्तुलस्यः स्वसञ्चवो यस्तु न भेदगन्धम्
जीवञ्छवो भागवताङ्घ्रिरेणुं
जीवंशवो भागवता
न जातुमर्त्योऽभिलभेतयस्तु श्रीविष्णुपद्यामनुजस्तुलस्य श्वसञ्छवो यस्तु न वेदगन्धम्.
Word to word meaning: Jivan, while living; Shavaha, a dead body; Bhagavat Angrirenum, the dust of the feet of a pure devotee; Na, never; Jatu, at any time; Martyaha, mortal; Abhilabheta, particularly received; Yaha, a person; Tu, but; Shri, with opulence; Vishnu Padyaha, of the lotus feet of Vishnu; Manujaha, a descendant of Manu, a man; Tulasyaha, leaves of the Tulsi tree; Shwasan, while breathing; Shavaha, still a dead body; Yaha, who; Tu, but; Naveda, never experienced; Gandham, the aroma. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. Please repeat this translation. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulasi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the breathing dead body is a ghost. When a man dies, he is called dead. But when he again appears in a subtle form not visible to our present vision and yet acts, such a dead body is called a ghost. Ghosts are always very bad elements, always creating a fearful situation for others. Similarly, the ghost-like non-devotees who have no respect for the pure devotees, nor for the Vishnu deity in the temples, create a fearful situation for the devotees at all times. The Lord never accepts any offering by such impure ghosts. There is a common saying that one should first love the dog of the beloved before one shows any loving sentiments for the beloved. The stage of pure devotion is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of a pure devotee. And this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. This is the way of pure disciplic succession or devotional parampara. Maharaj Rahugana inquired from the great saint Jadabharatha as to how he had attained such a liberated state of a Paramahamsa. And in answer, the great saint replied as follows: Rahugunaita tapasana yati nache jaya nirvipanad grihadva nachandasa naiva jalagni surya vina mahatpada rajobhishekam. O King Rahugana, the perfectional stage of devotional service or the Paramahamsa stage of life cannot be attained unless one is blessed by the dust of the feet of great devotees. It is never attained by tapasya or austerity, the Vedic worshipping process, acceptance of the renounced order of life, the discharge of the duties of household life, the chanting of the Vedic hymns, or the performance of penances in the hot sun, within cold water, or before the blazing fire. In other words, Lord Sri Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees. And as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya therefore designated himself as Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa Dasanudasaha, or the most obedient servant of the servants of the Lord, who maintains the Gopi damsels at Vrindavana. A pure devotee therefore never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the servant of the Lord's servants. And thus the Lord becomes pleased, and only then can the devotee relish the taste of the tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is never to be found by becoming a great scholar of the Vedic literatures, but he is very easily approachable through his pure devotee. In Vrindavana, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Srimati Radharani is a tender-hearted feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, the mercy of Radharani is available very readily to the sincere devotees. And when she recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee's admittance into his association. The conclusion is therefore that one should be more serious about seeking the mercy of the devotee than that of the Lord directly, and by one's doing so, by the goodwill of the devotee, the natural attraction for the service of the Lord will be revived. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In this series of verses which we have been reading in the Bhagavatam, the futility of being born as a human being but not rendering devotional service is once again being emphasized here. That if a person is living but he has not received the dust of the feet of a pure devotee on his head, he is a dead body. And if he has not experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord, he is also a dead body. Because as we all know, the purpose of the human form of life is to ultimately render devotional service to the Lord. In the purport, Prabhupada is bringing out one more very important point, where he says, a pure devotee therefore never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the servant of the Lord's servants. And thus the Lord becomes pleased, and only then can the devotee relish the taste of the tulsi leaf struck to his lotus feet. So in the verse, 2 points are being mentioned. One is about receiving the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord's pure devotee, and second is to experience the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord. But in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that before one can even receive the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord, one first has to receive the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee. And further in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining what is the meaning of receiving the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee. So here Prabhupada says that reception of the dust, the first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of a pure devotee, and this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. So reception of the dust of the lotus feet means to become a servant of a pure devotee. And Prabhupada says this is the first condition of devotional service to the Lord. So many times when such references are there, where people say that, where it is said in the scriptures, there are several statements also, like Brahma Samhita also Prabhupada has quoted, Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktau. Even through the Vedas you cannot understand the Lord, but only through a devotee you can understand the Lord. Similarly, there are references in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo, Navedayana Bhuna Shruthena, correct? And Yasya Deve Parabhaktir Yata Deve Tata Gurau. So all these, there are several references which are saying that without a guru you cannot attain the Lord. So some people, they become very skeptical and they say that this is, it is much easier to approach the Lord, but you are creating an artificial barrier between me and the Lord. Lord is there, I am there, why do I need somebody in between? So all this, you are all artificially creating. So of course this comes because they don't understand who the Lord is, what pure devotional service is, what is the goal of associating with the Lord. Because this understanding is not there, they make such statements. Then there are people who read these statements and they say, we also want to obtain the mercy of the Lord. So whenever they see some sadhu, they just take the dust of their lotus feet and put it on their head. And some of them, they also take initiation and they say, I am initiated by such and such guru. So therefore, now my relationship with Krishna is fixed up. So both these understandings are actually not correct. So in the Mahabharata, there is this famous verse where how is it that the essence of dharma can be known? When this question is asked to Yudhishthir Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj answers that what is that verse? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya. How does it begin? Tarko apratishta shrutyo vibhinna. Naso muniryasya matirna bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajano yena gatas sapanta. The nature of dharma, of that absolute truth, is very, very confidential. It cannot be understood simply by study of the Vedas. It cannot be understood simply by argument or logic. It cannot be understood by your tapasya or sacrifice. Then how can it be understood? If by none of these methods it can be understood, it can be understood only by following the footsteps of a great devotee. Because the absolute truth or the essence of the Vedas is that the absolute truth is a person, Sri Krishna. And he is a personality, and our perfection of life is to ultimately surrender and serve Lord Krishna. This is the essence of Vedic literature. So now, and what is the nature of this personality? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself declares, what is his nature? He says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, sarvaloka maheshwaram. Krishna's nature is he is the supreme enjoyer. What is the nature of this absolute truth, this personality? His business is only enjoyment. So if we have to associate with such a personality, then what is our qualification? Our qualification is we should help in Krishna's enjoyment. Only when we can facilitate in Krishna's enjoyment, we become qualified to associate with Krishna. So this understanding, both these classes of people don't have, who question what is the purpose of a guru, or those who accept a guru simply thinking that their enjoyment will increase by doing that and God will fulfill all their wishes. So what is the real meaning of taking shelter of the lotus feet of a guru? So in one of the Vaishnava songs, this is very nicely described, that after taking shelter of a guru, what is it that a person is supposed to do? So this is a song which we sing quite often. This song is this one, O He Vaishnava Thakura. So here in the translation it says, this song is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So in the first para it is said, O venerable Vaishnava, devotee of Krishna, O ocean of mercy, be merciful unto your servant and give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. So this is the first step. A person goes and he surrenders to a guru. But what is the purpose of surrendering to a guru? So the purpose of surrendering to a guru, it is told here, Chaya bega domi, chaya dosha shodi, chaya gune deho dase, chaya satsanga deho he amare, bosechi sangera ase. So this is very important. What is the purpose of surrendering to a guru? What does a guru do the moment we surrender to him? Or what should be a disciple's mood when he surrenders to a guru? So the mood should be, teach me to control my 6 passions. This is point number 1. A disciple is surrendering to a guru for what? For being taught to control his 6 passions. Second, rectify my 6 faults. This is the second point. And third point, bestow upon me the 6 qualities. And fourth point is to offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. So 4 things Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. When we surrender to a guru or take shelter of a guru, what should be our objective? Our objective is we should learn to control our 6 passions. We should rectify our 6 faults. He should bestow upon us the 6 qualities and offer unto us the 6 kinds of holy association. Now, these 4 points, each of which are 6 in number, are given in great detail in the Nectar of Instruction, written by Rupa Goswami. So what are the 6 kinds of passion? The 6 kinds of passion are those pertaining to the words, the mind, the anger, the tongue, the stomach, and the genitals. Vacho vegam, manasakrodha vegam, jihva vegam, udaropastha vegam. So the guru is first training us to control all our urges. Urges of the mind, urges of the tongue, urges of the anger, urges of the stomach, and urges of the genitals. Because as long as these are uncontrolled, we are not qualified to go back to Krishna. So the purpose of surrendering to a guru is because the guru trains us so that we control all these urges. And then rectify my 6 faults. What are the 6 faults or the 6 impediments in the path of bhakti? Overeating, atyahara, prayasa. Prayasa means over endeavor. Atyahara, prayasascha, prajalpo. Prajalpo means useless idle talk. Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means not following the regulative principles or following it only without understanding the spirit of the principles. So these are the 6 faults. What are the six faults: to not follow the regulative principles, sense gratification, useless idle talk, and impure habits. So these things also, if we are not able to overcome, then what happens? Our bhakti gets destroyed. So the Guru is training us how we overcome these six things. And then, six good qualities the Guru is bestowing upon us. What are the six good qualities? Utsahat, Nishchayat, Dhairyat, Tattat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyagat, Sato Vritte. Six things. Utsaha is, we have to carry out all our activities in full enthusiasm. Nishchayat, and we have to do it with firm faith that by carrying out whatever is assigned to me by my Guru, I will progress in devotional service. Utsahat, Nishchayat, Dhairyat. Dhairyat means one should be patient. So we should not be very impatient that, I am practicing, nothing is happening. No, we have to be very patient. Utsahat, Nishchayat, Dhairyat, Tattat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyagat. We should give up bad association. So that's why the Guru creates an institution where we are protected from the bad association. Sangatyagat, Sato Vritte, and we associate with other like-minded devotees. So these six things when we do, what happens? Our bhakti improves. And then finally, six kinds of association also the Guru provides. What is that? To go to an assembly of devotees, to invite devotees into one's home, to discuss and hear devotional topics, to take the Mahaprasada of the devotees, and to offer Mahaprasada to the devotees. So this, all things when they come together, what happens? We lose this propensity of sense enjoyment. Because what is keeping us away from realizing that absolute truth is that we are thinking, I am the enjoyer, I am the master, I am the center of attraction. But if we have to come to the platform to say, no, I am subordinate to Krishna, I am a part and parcel of Krishna, my happiness is in Krishna's enjoyment, then we have to go through all these processes. Give up the six kinds of give up the six kinds of bad habits, avoid the six kinds of things which spoils our bhakti, take up the six kinds of things which improves our bhakti, and then take advantage of the six kinds of association that the spiritual master is providing. And when that happens, what is Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying? Ekaki amara nahi paya bala harinama sankirtane. Another reason for taking shelter of a spiritual master is, I do not find the strength to carry on alone the sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. On our own, we don't have the strength to even do Harinam Sankirtana. So what does the Guru do? Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya. What does the spiritual master do? The spiritual master instills that faith in us. So we might not have faith in Krishna, but by seeing the life of a pure devotee, we develop faith. Yes, what this person is practicing, it is having a practical effect. So many times when we see the life of the acharyas, we gain so much inspiration. So this faith is this is the role the spiritual master is playing in connecting us with Krishna by giving us this faith. And when that happens, what will happen? Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna nama dhane. And that is how we get the treasure of chanting the holy name of Hare Krishna mantra. So all of us, we are chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. How? Because of the faith given in the holy name by Srila Prabhupada. And finally, it is told here, Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. So that is what in the purport also Prabhupada is saying. Lord Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees, and as such only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also saying the same thing. Krishna is yours, you have the power to give him to me. So why is Krishna the property of his pure devotees? Because Krishna knows this pure devotee has no other interest other than my interest. So he is fully surrendered to his pure devotee. And therefore, simply by following these instructions of the pure devotee, what happens? We also become eligible to enter into the spiritual world in the company of Krishna and the pure devotees. And finally, this song concludes, Amito Kangal Krishna Krishna Boli Dhai Tava Pache Pache. I am simply your servant running behind you shouting Krishna Krishna. So this should be the mood of devotees, or those who have taken initiation, or the meaning of taking the dust of the feet of a pure devotee means we follow these instructions of the spiritual master so that we become free from this propensity of sense enjoyment, and we develop enthusiasm for the service of Krishna. By this we can realize the absolute truth. Okay, so we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki.